Okay. At last, the priest wrapped the final cloth or shroud in place and secured it with linen strips. The
Huh.
mummy has been completed.
Oh,
The
nice.
okay.
So can I eat him now?
I was gonna say this is
And we're back. We're back with some more Mizzity Minecraft. And so, if y'all remember, at the end of the last video, I know I keep doing callbacks and shit, but we were taught, or Anna went on a little ramble about mummification,
I could do
and
it again. I will do it again. Let's start.
um, and I remembered that the most recent two Doctor Who episodes featured Sekhmet, who is an Egyptian goddess. And so I thought it would be really cool to sort of get your opinion on the episodes.
Mhm.
I'll give a brief rundown from what I remember, and I'll let you cast your judgment. We did something similar in DMC with Space Babies, so we're kind of skipping like the entire season, but who cares?
Yeah, I
Um,
still need to watch it too. My mom said it was really good, and you're
oh, it's
saying it's really
fantastic!
good.
I love that season so much.
Yeah, you guys are like my two touchstones for Doctor Who now.
So yeah, so quick spoiler warning. We're spoiling literally the last two episodes of the season by talking about this, so skip the episode if you haven't caught up. So the two episodes are fucking The Legend of Ruby Sunday and The Empire of Death.
Ooh,
So
that's
the
such a
the
good name.
yeah, it's really fucking cool. Um, so The Legend of Ruby Sunday starts with basically trying to tie up loose knots about pretty much everything that's happened in the season previous.
Mhm.
Um, Mainly the whole mystery of Ruby Sunday and her mom,
Mhm.
and why the TARDIS is being so weird, and the Toy Maker's legions. So like he who will awaken is finally awaking in this episode. So the episode has the Doctor and Ruby going to Unit, which, by the way, the new Unit set in the Disney Doctor Who, amazing. Like you can tell that Disney money is doing wonders for Doctor Who. um, but we have all the cool Unit characters. We got Kate Stewart, who I love. I love her a lot. I think she's like genuinely like a really cool character. Um, and then we have Rose, but not Billy Piper Rose. Donna's daughter Rose from
Ah,
the first 14th Doctor episode. Uh, so she's working at Unit now, and I guess so is Donna, but she doesn't make an appearance. Sadly, I would love to see Donna again. So Doctor Who, make it happen, please.
I'm gonna say she's like one of my favorite companions, Loki.
Yeah, for real, for real. So the Doctor and Ruby head to Unit, right? And they're trying to figure out two major mysteries: the Toy Maker's legions and Ruby's mom.
Mhm.
Luckily, Unit can possibly do both, but they're trying to figure out three lessons. So throughout the season, there has been this like little running Easter egg where this one woman keeps appearing everywhere. If you look really closely in all the episodes, this same woman keeps showing up.
Are you talking about 72 yards?
Kind of. That gets brought
I
up
remember
in.
my mom telling me about that episode, and let me just say, hell nah. Hell nah.
That's
Nightmare
actually
fuel. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
nightmare. That's actually a really good episode. Actually,
It is.
that's my dad's favorite episode of the season.
Fucking of course it is.
Um, but no, it's not that woman who's like tailing behind Ruby. It's another woman who just keeps appearing. Like she was one of the people who left the space station in Space Babies. She was the face of like the villains in Boom, which is the episode where the Doctor's trapped on a landmine.
Oh yeah.
Um, but so this same woman keeps appearing everywhere, kind of like Clara back in like late 11th Doctor era. Um, So they're like, why does this woman keep appearing? And apparently her real name is Susan Triad, which they realize is a acronym, I think is the right word, for TARDIS.
Oh.
Meaning that this woman knows about the Time Lords, this woman knows about the TARDIS, and they believe that it's actually Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter from the very beginning of the show.
Oh, man.
So, like, they're trying to figure out who this woman is, why she keeps appearing, and is it Susan? Then they're trying to figure out what's going on with the toy maker. Why does his people keep showing up? Because he showed up in The Giggle. Amazing episode. Love Neil Patrick Harris in that episode. He's amazing.
That was actually good. Good. Yes.
And then apparently his kid is the best way, because they don't use specific pronouns for the maestro. They just go by non-binary. So I'm just gonna say kid and they them, because that's yeah. Who is like the god of music, you know? So they're like, what's going on with the Toy Makers Legions? Why does this woman keep showing up? And who is Ruby's mom? So they figure out Susan Triad, and the Doctor's plans to go to Susan Triad, who is doing some presentation. I don't specifically remember what, and I don't remember. No, it's not entirely useful to the episode what her presentation is about. We just know that she's like a good person, thus setting up the belief that this is Susan from the original show. And so they then get to Ruby, and Unit has this cool machine that lets you sort of replay memories. So Ruby heads back to her house and collects the VHS tape of the night that she was left on Ruby Road, or the church on Ruby Road. And with that technology, don't know how it works. Never was explained how that technology works, but honestly, I don't think it's really necessary, because it's like, it's Doctor Who. You just kind of accept that technology like that exists. And so they use this like cool piece of technology where it kind of like makes a holographic, like a 3D holographic recreation of the scene. And they're hoping that, hopefully, that like with the technology, if they boost the quality enough, you can see under the woman's hood who the person is, so they can identify who they are and why she abandoned Ruby or left Ruby at the church, right? Doesn't work, because why the fuck would it? But they get back to this point where, so in the first 15th Doctor episode, which was I think it was just the church on Ruby Road is what it was called. The Doctor had gone back to that night because baby Ruby got stolen by goblins, literal goblins.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So he goes back, and they notice that the woman is pointing at the TARDIS. Something's going on with the TARDIS, and it keeps making this weird groaning noise. Like, it's like this creepy noise. So the group kind of splits up here. The Doctor and Mel, who I believe was a 5th Doctor companion from the classic show. I could be wrong about that, because I'm not that far into the classic show. Mel and the Doctor go to Susan Triad in hopes that it's his granddaughter. While Ruby stays at Unit to try and figure out who the mom is and all that shit. And that's when we get the reveal that it's not Susan Triad. It's not Susan, and we find out why the TARDIS is groaning. It's because this creature called Sekhmet, who is in the Doctor Who universe, the god of death, he has been clinging to the TARDIS ever since he was first defeated by the 4th Doctor, all the way back. So, first of all, he's been clinging to the TARDIS for years. And may I remind you that there was a Doctor Who scene where all of the Doctors were in the same place at the same time to stop the Time War? So literally, like, it was like fucking Sekhmet just like looking at each other and pointing at each other like, what the fuck? I love that implication so much, that he was just there the entire time. Very spooky. I love that. But so the episode ends with Sekhmet starting his attack, right? Empire of Death starts with Sekhmet actually attacking. That being, he releases kind of like this sand that kills anybody that it touches. And he connects this sand to all of the Susan triads that were created, that he created. And he created a Susan triad on every planet that the Doctor landed on ever since he was defeated. So basically, every planet in the universe has a Susan triad that is releasing this death sand. So literally, the Doctor believes that he has just created the death of the universe, even though that's not his fault. However, luckily, using that unit technology, they create a new TARDIS that's based off of the memory of a TARDIS, and it's based off of the set off of like some Doctor Who spin-off show. I don't know anything about it. I just recognize the set. But like, they use like the memory of the TARDIS to go to certain places. There's this weird scene between the Doctor and this woman where he's like asking for metal, and she's like, I don't remember what planet we're on. I don't remember why my baby's dead or anything like that, but I'm going to give you the spoon. And he's like, I promise this will save the world. And so that's when Ruby remembers that during 73 Yards, she's starting to get memories of the episode of 73 Yards. And she remembers that the British government forced all British citizens to have like their ID in some data banks. If they go to that future, maybe they can find her DNA. But they've realized that the only reason why Ruby, Doctor, and Mel are still alive, which I completely forgot to mention because I'm a fucking idiot and there's so much happening in this fucking episode. The reason why Sekhmet is keeping them alive is because he is also he is literally just also invested in the secret of who Ruby's mom is.
Really?
So he's keeping them alive in hopes that they'll find the secret so he can know and just eventually kill them without leaving some secret behind that he can never solve.
Mm-hmm.
But they do find who she is. And so they return to the modern day. They return to Unit, where Sekhmet is like he's like hanging on to the TARDIS the entire time. Like he's this giant, like, he looks a lot like I believe Anubis, which is another weird thing. He doesn't look like Sekhmet. He looks like Anubis.
Yeah.
And he's just hanging on to the TARDIS, and they're like, we know who she is. And he's like, tell me so I can end you quickly. And Ruby takes the screen that has her mom on it, like all of her information, and just breaks it right in front of him. And so the Doctor, like regains all of his because he's basically just ready to accept Sekhmet's death. Like he's ready to just accept dying and let Sekhmet win. But he gets his confidence back, and he hooks Sekhmet, or no, he has Ruby hook Sekhmet up to this rope that is attached to the TARDIS, and they go into the time vortex, and he's like clawing at the time vortex, opening up these like time portals, very similar to in Spider-Man No Way Home, kind of, where he's just like ripping open these like portals, and it's bringing everybody back. So literally everybody who was killed by Sekhmet, so everybody in the universe, is coming back. And they even recognize that like Sekhmet killing everybody also kills like the Daleks. So even in this, like the Doctor saving everybody, he's also saving the Daleks, which is really crazy. I liked that little bit in that episode. And so they're like, the Doctor is like, if you are the god of death, and you are my like arch enemy, then that makes me the god of life, which I'm certain people have some issues with that, but honestly, I love that so much. And so he literally just like closes the door on Sekhmet, trapping him in the time vortex, killing him. So he just straight up kills the god of death. And the episode ends with Ruby finding out who her mom is. So we don't this is one thing where I'm a little iffy, because I like the idea of her giving up the chase for her mom, like her biological mom, to save the universe, but also I'm happy we get the answer to the question and that she gets a happy ending. No big reveal. It's literally like Rey, where her parents were literally fucking nobodies, Her parents
Yeah.
are literally just fucking nobodies. Which I kind of prefer, on to be perfectly honest. I kind of would have hated it if like
Yeah.
she was like some god, or like she was the daughter of Sekhmet the entire
Yeah.
time, and that's
Yeah,
why
that
she
would have
has
been
like
really
the weird
boring.
like snow power that she has, which never gets explained. Um, and so like she meets her mom and they reunite and shit, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, I literally abandoned you because it was a teenage pregnancy and I could not deal with that." But so she comes back to her house. Ruby's two moms meet and they're chilling, and she goes to the doctor who's chilling in the TARDIS, and she's like, we're calling my dad, my biological dad. We're hoping that he'll come to see me." And it's so clear that the doctor's leaving. Like he's like she knows that he's just leaving without her, because he wants her to have like just a normal life now that she knows who her parents are.
Hmm.
Um, and she's like, "Am I ever gonna see you again?" And normally, like, he says yes, but I'm very much inclined to not believe him.
Yeah, I
Because
wouldn't. I wouldn't believe him either.
he kind of just like does that, where he just like says, "Yeah, I'll see you again," and then he just never does for like years on end.
Hmm.
Though I would not be surprised, because it is Russell T Davies, and he did basically the exact same thing with the 10th Doctor, and like that one episode with the Daleks where all of the fucking characters from that run return. So I wouldn't be surprised if RTD does some cool shit like that. But yeah, no, we said goodbye to Ruby, and 15 is now gonna, I guess, meet his new companion. Don't know why Millie Gibson, I think her name is, left the show so soon, but
I was
honestly,
gonna say, like, it felt like she was here for.
she
I
was,
feel like companions stick around for longer generally.
yeah, they do, but at the same time, like, she had a very Clara, like, style mystery to her, which is what made Clara interesting in the first place. But then they kept Clara around after her mystery was solved, and they just didn't do anything with her other than her being a companion. And then, like, when the Doctor turned to the 12th Doctor, him kind of coming to grips that he can't, like, have romantic feelings for Clara anymore. Which I don't
Hmm.
care what anybody says. I don't care what those people who are like, "I prefer the Doctor when he's asexual." He had the hots for Clara, even if they weren't like
Hmm.
dating. He was into her.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. It was pretty hard to ignore.
Yeah.
I felt like that it was obvious.
Mm. But like they solved her mystery but kept her around, so it's like, I guess they're not doing that where like we solved the mystery so it's time for someone new. And I guess that's kind of cool, where it's like now there's going to be a new mystery that we can follow, hopefully. And but it's just like, I feel like we didn't get that much time to really not get to know her, but like, I don't know, because she had a lot of screen time. She was definitely not like just the Doctor's assistant or a companion. She truly felt like not an equal to the Doctor, but like he definitely didn't treat her like she wasn't important, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's those
I was gonna say, has
episodes.
he ever treated a companion like they didn't matter though?
Martha.
Well, well,
Like she made herself useful, which is based, but I'm sorry, I can't forgive that one moment where they're like laying in bed and he's like, "What would Rose do?" Like right in front of her. Like, come on, dude.
yeah, it's
Come on,
pretty
dude.
rough.
She's right there. Just ask her what she would do. I hope Martha comes back in some way. Like, I feel like her character needs something, cuz Rose had her arc. Donna had hers. I feel like Martha needs something. I guess she kind of got some cool shit when she was like a member of. I don't think she was a member of UNIT. I think she was just a member of the government. Yeah, no, she was just a member of the government because UNIT hadn't returned during the initial RTD run. But yeah, I hope Martha returns. I feel like she got kind of hoed.
Yeah, I would agree.
But thank you for letting me ramble about Doctor Who.
Yeah,
It's my favorite pastime activity.
my favorite autistic activity.
Well,
Need more
it
spruce.
is the end of the episode. That did round us off perfectly, but if you want to talk about something real quick, I will allow you.
Well, if we can get back into mummification real quick.
Yeah, give us another quick spiel about mummification real
Let's
quick.
allow ourselves to experience some of these wonderful things. So they only left the heart in place because they believed it to be the center of a person's being and intelligence. The other
Mhm.
organs were preserved separately, with the stomach, liver, lungs, and intestines placed in several boxes or jars called canoptic jars. I am reading an article. They were buried with the
Understandable.
mummy, and then in later mummies, the organs were treated, wrapped, and replaced within the body. So when they would put the organs in the canoptic jars, that would kind of just fill the chest cavity with a bunch of like herbs and like medicinal things to make it smell good. Since it's literally like, I don't care if it's like a jerkified beef jerkified body that's still a human body.
Yeah.
But the more details about the brain being pulled out. The brain was removed by carefully inserting special hooked instruments up through the nostrils in order to pull out bits of brain tissue. It was
Fun.
a delicate operation, one which could easily disfigure the face. So just imagine you get like the worst
No thanks.
embalmer ever,
No,
and they just
I'm
completely
good.
fuck up your shit.
I'm
They
good.
just
I don't need
completely
to. I
fuck
don't
up
need to imagine it. I can
you
go
don't,
my
you
life
don't
without imagining it.
you don't want to think about that. That doesn't sound like a good time to you.
No, not really.
I think you're missing out, JJ. I think you're really missing out. I'll be 100% honest with you. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? The embalmers next removed all moisture from the body. They did this by covering the body with natron, a type of salt which has great drying properties,
Oh
and
yeah, I forgot
then
I was
they
gonna do
put
something
some
here.
additional natron plaques inside of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So this process of drying takes 70 days.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No.
And when the body had dried out completely, embalmers removed the internal packets and then washed them. Oh, that's kind of cool. To make the mummy seem even more lifelike, sunken areas of the body were filled out with linen and other materials, and false eyes were added.
Mm.
Interesting. Next, the
That
wrapping
is
began.
interesting, and also creepy, but interesting.
Each mummy needed hundreds
Excuse
of
me.
yards of linen. The priests carefully wound the long strips of linen around the body, sometimes even wrapping each finger and toe separately before wrapping the
Oh
entire
shit.
hand or foot. I was gonna say, like, the toes getting wrapped separately, that seems crazy. I'd hate that.
Off
Like, I would be
topic.
dead, but I would hate that.
Off topic, but we are at Y negative 51, my friend. Like, we are getting there. We are
God damn,
getting there,
son.
my friend.
The fuck? All this bitch does is dig a hole.
Mm-hmm. For the past, like, 15... No, not even 15. Like, past fucking 30 episodes.
Incredible. Just fucking incredible. So what do they do after that? They placed a mask of the person's face between the layers of head bandages. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's funny. In order to protect the dead from mishap, amulets were placed along the wrappings and prayers and magical words written on some of the linen strips. They didn't want that fucking dead guy doing anything spooky. They're like, you're gone, and you're gonna be gone.
Motherfuckers didn't want fucking mummies hitting the gritty in their
Apparently
fucking
not.
tombs.
Alright. Okay. Okay. At last, the priest wrapped the final cloth or shroud in place and secured it with linen strips. The
Huh.
mummy has been completed.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So can I eat him now?
I was gonna say this is. Can I eat it now? I was gonna say you gotta let it marinate for a couple hundred years and then you're good.
I remember they made that exact joke of eating like a mummified corpse in Futurama.
Oh god.
It's funny too
such
because
disgusting
it's
practice.
like
Goddamn.
fried in it. He's like, Professor, nice jerky. And he's like, oh, I was gonna eat that mummy.
Oh god.
I fucking love that show. I'm glad that show's back. I gotta watch the rest of the new Futurama episodes.
I haven't watched it at all, honestly.
But Well, thank you for. Is there any more mummy stuff that you want to share before we end it off?
No, no, no,
Well,
no.
I thank you for sharing your the process of mummification with the class, with the group,
With the
with the
gang,
club.
with the crew.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.